these messages in the intro.
Guys, coming to you from LRV World Headquarters. Welcome back to another Creates and Creed video.
I get to sit here.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit next to you so we can all read when people are talking.
Today, we are going to be reading the Iliad, finishing book 5.
Best book of the Iliad. You gotta quick open up his PDF.
Mm-hmm. We're hoping to make some changes here.
Yeah.
Isaac can explain a little bit.
So we kind of feel like we've been reading the Iliad, but we haven't really been like, taking away much from it. Where I think we gotta kind of strike down on some of the rules. First of all, we're planning on reading the book before we read it here, so we have a base level understanding of what's happening.
Yo, Nate, I don't mind if you play with that, but we're kind of in the middle of something.
Yeah.
I love playing with it.
But yeah, we're going to be reading the book beforehand, so we have like a base level understanding. Coming in with topics we can discuss from the book.
Fire, bars.
And just trying to get more takeaways and have more discussion about the book.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to be trying to read it along while the other person is reading, so we actually comprehend everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are some of the changes we're gonna make.
I would give Nate a computer, but I fear
We
he's
can just read
I fear he's gonna be distracted.
Can you zoom in on it, Liam? Just like the chair.
Okay. Book 180.
Here we go.
Okay.
I'm not gonna highlight it though, so you have to actually
180. We'll start on 180.
180. Okay. Let's get this going.
3, 2, 1. Without an army and Trojan allies, all on your own, just with his sister's husbands and your brothers. But where are they now? I look, I cannot find one. They cringe and cower like hounds circling a lion. We, your allies here, we do your fighting for you. And I myself, Hector, your ally to the death. A good long way I came from distant Lycia, far from Xanthus Rapids, where I left from my loving my loving wife, my baby son, great riches too, the lasting envy of every needy neighbor. And still I lead our Lycians into battle. Myself, I chafe to face my man, full force. There's not a scrap of mine for looting here. No cattle or gold the foe could carry off. But you just stand there. Don't even command the rest to brace and defend their wives. Beware the toils of war, the mesh of the huge dragnet sweeping up the world. Before you're trapped, your enemies prey and plunder. Soon they'll raise your sturdy citadel to the roots. All this obsess you, Hector, night and day. You should be begging the men who lead your allies, famous ranks, to stand and fight for all their worth. You'll ward off all the blame they hurl against you. And Sarpedon's charge cut Hector to the core. Down he leapt from his chariot, fully armed, hit the ground, and brandishing 2 sharp spears, went striding down his lines, ranging flank to flank, driving his fighters into battle, rousing grisly war, and round the Trojans whirled, bracing to meet the Argives face to face. But the Argives' closed ranks did not cave in. Remember the wind that scatters the dry chaff, sweeping it over the sacred threshing floor. The men winnowing hard, and blond Demeter culling grain from dry husk in the rough and gusting wind. And under it all, the heaps of chaff are piling white, so white the Achaeans turned beneath the dust storm now, pelting across their faces, kicked up by horses' hooves, to clear the bronze sky. The battle joined again, charioteers swung chariots round, thrust the powerful fist of fury straight ahead, and murderous Ares, keen to help the Trojans, shrouded the carnage over in dense dark night, lunging at all points, carrying out the commands of Phoebus Apollo, lord of the golden sword, who ordered Ares to whip up the Trojans' war loss. Once he spotted Athena veering off the lines. Great Pallas, who'd rushed to back the Argives out of his rich guarded chamber, the god himself launched Aeneas now, driving courage in his heart, and the captain took his place amidst the men. And how they thrilled to see him alive, safe, unharmed, marching back to their lines. His soul blazed for war, but his men asked him nothing. The labor of battle would not let them. More labor urged by the god of the silver bow, and man destroying Ares, and strife flaring on, headlong on. The Achaeans, the two knights, Tydides and Odysseus, spurred them on. Onto the attack. The troops themselves had no fear, no dread of the Trojans' powers in breakneck charges. No, they stood their ground like heavy thunderheads, stacked up on the towering mountain tops by Cronus' son. Stock still in the windless calm, when the raging north wind and his gusty, ripping friends that had screamed down to rout dark clouds have fallen dead asleep. So staunch they stood the Trojan onslaught, never shrinking once, as Atrides ranged the ranks, shouting out commands. Now be men, my friends. Courage, come, take heart. Dread what comrades say of you here in bloody combat. What men dread that? More men come through alive when soldiers break and run. Goodbye, glory. Goodbye, all defenses. A flash, a sudden hurl, and Atrides speared a champion out in front. I'm gonna finish off the paragraph. It was Prince Aeneas, his comrade in arms, Diocon, Pergasus' son. The Trojans prized like Priam's sons. Quick as he always was to join the forward ranks, now his shield took powerful Agamemnon's spear, but failed to deflect it. Straight through, it smashed, bronze splitting his belt and plunging down in his guts. He fell, thundering, armor ringing against him. Okay, what happened there? So, the first bit is Sarpedon spurring on Hector, who is pretty much the best warrior of the Trojans, to be like actually fighting, because he's pretty much just like not doing much right now, right? And he spurs Hector on. Hector's like, right, I do have to go fight and do crap, So they go do that, and then it's basically just saying how like Ares and Pallas and all that crap, like they spur on the Achaeans and the Trojans, and they're fighting and crap. So that's pretty much what happens. What's the plan now?
I can continue.
Okay. Should we switch? Like, should I give you the book, or are you good with reading from there? Because I don't know.
Read
Okay.
from here.
Okay.
There, Aeneas replied in kind and killed 2 Argive captains, Diocles' 2 sons, Orsilochus flanking Crathon. Their father lived in the fortress town of Phera, a man of wealth and worth, born of Alphus River, running wide through Pylian hills. The stream that stirred Ortilochus to rule their many men. Ortilochus stirred Diocles, that proud heart, and Diocles bred Diocles bred Orsilochus, twinned with Crethon, drilled for any fight. And reaching their prime, they joined the archive, sailing the black ships, outward bound for the stallion land of Troy, all for the sons of Atreus, so to fight to the end and win their honor back. So death put an end to them both, wrapped them both in night, fresh as two young lions off on the mountain ridges, twins reared by a lioness deep in the dark glades, that ravaged shepherds' steadings, mauling the cattle and fat sheep until it's their turn to die, hacked down by the cleaving bronze blades in the shepherd's hands. So here the twins were laid low at Aeneas' hands. Down they crashed like lofty pine trees axed. Both down, but Menelaus pitied them both. Yes, and out for blood he burst through the front, helmed in fiery bronze, shaking his spear. And Ares fury drove him. Ares hoping to see him crushed at Aeneas' hands. Antilochus marked him now. Great Nestor's son went racing across the front himself, terrified for the Lord of armies. What if he were killed? Their hard campaigning just might come to grief. As Aeneas and Menelaus came within arm's reach, waving whetted spears in each other's faces, nerved to fight it out, and Antilochus rushed in, tensing shoulder to shoulder by his captain now, and Aeneas shrank from battle, fast as he was in arms, when he saw that pair of fighters side by side, standing their ground against him. Once they dragged the bodies back to their lines, they dropped the luckless twins in companions' open arms, and round they swung again to fight in the first ranks. And next they killed Pylaemenes, tough as Ares, a captain heading the Paphlagonian shieldsmen, hot-blooded men. Menelaus, the famous spearman, stabbed him right where he stood, the spear point pounding his collarbone to splinters. Antilochus killed his charioteer and steady henchman Mydon.
Antilochus, I think.
Antilochus, yeah. Antimenes' strapping son, just wheeling his racers round as Antilochus. Yeah, that makes sense. Winged a rock and smashed his elbow. Out of his grip, the reins, white with ivory, flew and slipped to the ground, entangled in the dust. Antilochus sprang. He plunged a sword in his temple, and Mydon, gasping, hurled from his bolted car face first. Head and shoulders stuck in a dune a good long time, for the sand was soft and deep. His lucky day, till his horses trampled him down flat as Antilochus lashed them hard and drove them back to Achaea's waiting ranks. But Hector marched them across the lines and rushed them now with a cry, and Trojan shock troops backed him full strength. And Ares led him with the deadly queen Enyo, bringing uproar on, the savage chaos of battle. The god of combat wielding his giant shaft in hand, now ranging ahead of Hector, now behind him. Ares there, and for all his war cries, Diomedes shrank at the sight, as a man at a loss, helpless, crossing a vast plain, halts short of a river rapid surging to sea, takes one look at the water roaring up in foam, and springs back with a leap. So he recoiled, shouting out to comrades, "Oh, my friends, what fools we were to marvel at wondrous Hector! What a spearman!" We said, and what a daring fighter. But a god goes with him always, beating off disaster. Look, that's Ares beside him now, just like a mortal. Give ground, but faces fronting the Trojans always. No use trying to fight the gods in force.
Wait 1 second. Okay. Want to read from here, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna scroll down whenever I need to.
We'll go on this page or this page.
So he warned.
So he warned as the Trojans charged them harder, and Hector, leveled a pair of men. Lunging,
yes.
Lunging leveled a pair of men who knew the joy of battle, riding a single chariot. Methans and Achilles.
That's not Achilles.
Anchises How do you say that? A-N-C-H.
Ankylius, or something like that. I don't know.
Anchilius. Down they went, and the great Alex pitted both. He strode,
Ajax.
and the great Ajax pitted both. He strode, pitied both. He strode to their side and loomed there. Loosed and gleaming, spare and struck down Amphus, Sigilius' son, who had ease in Pisas, rich in possessions, rich in rolling what wheatland.
No,
Keep going.
But dynasty guided
Destiny.
But destiny guided Amphius on, a comrade sworn to the cause of Priam and all of Priam's sons. Now giant Ajax speared him through the belt, deep in the guts, the long shadowy shaft stuck, and down he fell with a cache of gorgeous Ajax rushed.
Glorious.
What?
Glorious, not gorgeous.
Glorious Ajax rushed to strip his armor. Trojans shearing spears against him, points glittering around them. His shield taking repeated hits. He dug his heel in the corpse, yanked his own bronze out, but as far as the dead man's burnished gear, no hope. The giant was hopeless to rip it off of his back. Enemy weapons beating against him. Worse, he dreaded the Trojans too, swarming around him. A tough ring of them, brave and bristling spears, massing, rearing over the comrade's body now, and rugged, strong, and proud as great Ajax was. They shoved him back, he gave ground, staggering, reeling. So fighters worked away in the grim shocks of war, and Hercules' own son, Telephomius, tall and stout. His strong. What's his name?
Let me go. Let me go. Oh, excuse me, sorry.
You're excused, Isaac.
Telephonius.
I don't know what it is, but it sure is it's not telephonius. Telephonius. Telephonius.
How do you say it?
I don't know.
His strong fate was driving him now against Sarpedon, a man like a god, closing quickly, coming head to head, the son and the sons of Zeus, who marshal storms. Telepomius opened up a taunt, his enemy first. Sarpedon, master strategist of Licinius.
The Lycians.
Of the Lycians. What compels you to cringe and cower here? Your raw recruit green at the skills of battle. They lie when they say you're born with a storming Zeus. Look at yourself, how short you fall of the fighters. Steered by Zeus in the generations long before us. Think what they say, O mighty Hercules, there was a man, my father, and dauntless furious spirit, the Lionheart. He once sailed here from Lemedon's blooded horse, which was 6 shapes and smaller crews than yours, true. But he razed the walls of Troy. He widowed all her streets. You with your coward heart, your men dying round you. You're no bulwark. Come out, Lycia. I can tell you're no hope to the Trojans here. For all your power, soldier, crushed in my hands, you'll breach the gates of death. Are you caught up, Liam?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. The Spartan of
But Sarpedon.
Sabaton, the Serpent of Lycian, captain faced him
But
down.
Sarpedon, the
Just let
Lycian
him
captain.
continue.
Right you are, Telefonius. Telefonius, your great father, destroyed in sacred height to Troy, thanks, of course, to a man's stupidity. Proud Lomedon, that fool, he rewarded all his kindness with abuse. Never gave him a mare's he'd come so far to win. But the only thing you'll win at my hands here, I promise you, your slaughter and black doom. Gouged by my spear, you will give me glory now. You will give your life to a famous horseman death. In a fast reply, Telefonius raised his ashen spear, and the same moment shafts flew from their hands, and Sarpedion hit him square across the neck. The spear went ramming through, pure agony. Black night came swirling down across his eyes, but Telefonius' shaft had struck Sarpedon too. The honed tip of the weapon
Yeah.
tip of the weapon hitting his left thigh. For furious, razoring into flesh and scraping bone. But his father beat off death a little longer.
No, wait. Did you read the 2 pages?
I
Or
did
just
too.
one?
Yeah, he did too.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, not bad.
Hector of Troy.
Heroic.
Did I talk about Aphrodite in this one?
Yeah.
Here, wait. There was this part I want to read. Let me quick find where it is. Oh yeah, I think it was like 91 to the end.
Will you help me with something real quick?
What is it?
I need help getting something out of the oven.
Okay, you can do a summary of what we just read.
Okay.
while I'm gone.
So, yeah. Yeah. Telefonius, and Sarpedon kind of had a fight.
Who won?
Both of them, actually. And both of them lost, too. Because they kind of, threw their spears at each other, and both hit home, and they both, died or some crap.
After they died, how long did it take for them to get better?
Here, wait. Let me see. Did Sarpedon actually die? I don't remember. I know Sarpedon dies eventually. Okay, so yeah, Sarpedon, son of Zeus, and Telefonius apparently
Here, let me slide back.
get slimed. They slime each other.
Telephonius.
Telefonius. I like that. I'm gonna use that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This
would
is
it
not
be
a
okay
cuddle
if I read 191 to the end?
Yeah,
You
that's
guys
cool.
can, because there's this part I like.
That's cool.
Here, wait, let me. That is like.
What's the end page?
3, 4. 194, but it's shorter.
Okay.
You guys want to read since I'm planning on doing that right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Heroic Sarpedon. His loyal comrades bore him out of the fighting quickly, weighed down by the heavy spear shaft dragging on. But hurrying so, no one noticed or even thought to wrench the ashen javelin from his thigh so the man could hobble upright. Once they rushed, bent on the work of tending to his body. Telephonius, far across the lines, the armed Achaeans hauled him out of the fight. And seasoned Odysseus saw it, his brave spirit steady, ablaze for action now. What should he do? He racked his heart and soul. Lunge at Prince Sarpedon, son of storming Zeus, or go at the Lycians mass and kill them all. But no, it was not the gallant Odysseus' fate to finish Zeus's rugged son with his sharp bronze. So Pallas swung his fury against the Lycian front, whirling, killing Coranus, Chromius, and Alistair from Husband Hotel, killing Alsander and Halius, Prytanis and Noman, and stalwart Odysseus would have killed still more, but tall Hector, his helmet,
His helmet flashing.
Liam,
186.
do you think
sorry.
3 serpentinces could be Pastor Adam in a fight?
Sarpentions in this. How many Telephoniuses do you think it would take to kill one Pastor Adam?
2.
Telephonius.
Did you that if he gave like the Romans or Greeks McDonald's, they would think it tastes bad since they weren't used to eating processed food at the time.
And Zeus' son Sarpedon rejoiced to see him striding past and begged him in his pain. Son of Priam, don't leave me lying here, such easy prey for the Danaans. Protect me. Later I'll bleed to death inside your walls. Clearly it's not my fate to journey home again to my fatherland I love, to bring some joy to my dear wife, my baby son. But Hector, his helmet flashing, answered nothing. He swept past him, Hector burning to thrust the Argives back at once and tear the life and soul out of the whole battalions. But Sarpedon's loyal comrades laid him down, a man like a god beneath a fine spreading oak, sacred to Zeus, whose shield is banked with clouds. The veteran Pelagon, one of his closest aides, pushed the shaft of ash wood out through the wound. His spirit left him. A mist poured down from his eyes, but he caught his breath again. A gust of the north wind blowing him carried back the life breath he had gasped away in pain. But the Argive fighters, facing Ares' power and Hector helmed in bronze, they neither turned and ran for their black ships nor traded blows with enemies man to man. Backing over and over, the Argives gave ground, seeing the Lord of Battles lead the Trojan onset. Who was the first they slaughtered? Who the last? The brazen god of war and Hector son of Priam? Who thrusts first? Orestes, lasher of stallions next, and Aetolian spearman Trecus, Onamus and Helenus, Onepus' son, and Orispius' cinched with shining belts, who had lived in Hyle, hoarding his great wealth. His estate aslope the shores of Lake Cephesus, and round him Boeotonians held the fertile plain. But soon as the white-armed goddess Hera saw them mauling Argive units caught in the bloody press, she winged her words at Pallas. What disaster, daughter of storming Zeus, tireless one Athena! How hallow our vow to Menelaus that he would sack the mighty walls of Troy before he sailed for home. If we let murderous Ares rampage on this way, up now, set our minds on our own fighting fury. Hera's challenge and goddess Athena, her eyes of fire, could not resist. Hera, queen of the gods, daughter of great giant Cronus, launched the work, harnessed the golden-bridled team, and Hebe quickly rolled to the chariot. Paired wheels with their 8 spokes, all bronze, and bolted them on at both ends of the iron axle. Fine wheels and fellies of solid, deathless gold, and round them running rims of bronze clamped fast. A marvel to behold. The silver hubs spin round on either side of the chariot's woven body, gold and silver lashings strapping it tight, double rails sweeping along its deep full curves, and the yoke pull jutting forward, gleaming silver. There at the tip she bound the gorgeous golden yoke. She fastened the gorgeous golden breast straps next, and under the yoke Queen Hera led the horses, racers blazing for war and piercing shrieks of battle. It's Nate's turn.
Nate.
You're going to start at then Athena.
Then Athena, child of Zeus, whose shield is thunder, letting fall her supple robe at the father's threshold. Rich brocade, stitched with her own hands, labored down the battle shirt of the Lord of Light. Buckled her breastplate, geared for venturing war. All over her shoulders slung her shield. All tailless, flaring terror, panic mounted high in a crown around it. Hate and defense across it, assault to freeze the blood, and right in their mindset. Their mist, the Gorgon's monstrous head, that ripping dragon horror sign of storming Zeus. Then over their brows, Athena placed her golden helmet, fronted with her knobs and four knobs and forked with two horns, engraved with the fighting men of a hundred towns. And then onto the flaming chariot Pallas set her feet and seized her spear. Weighted heavy, the massive shaft she winds to break the battle lines of heroes. The mighty father's daughter storms against a crack of the way. The goddess Hera lashed the team, and all
on their own force.
The gates of heaven thundered open, kept by the seasons, guards of the vaulting sky, and Olympus heights empowered to spread the massive clouds, or close them around once more. Now straight through the great gates she drove the team, whipping them on full tilt until they came to Zeus. The son of Cornus, sitting far from the other gods, throned on the topmost crag of rigid Olympus, ridged Olympus, and halting her horse near, the white-armed Hera, calling out at once to the powerful son of Cronos, pressing home her questions. Father Zeus, look, aren't you incensed with Ares and all his brutal work, killing so many brave Achaeans for no good reason? Achaeans for no good reason. Not a shred of decency, just to wound my heart while they sit at their royal ease, exalting the goddess of love, and Apollo Lord to the silver bow. They loosed this maniac Ares, and Ares, he has no sense of justice, Father Zeus. I wonder if he would fume at me if I heard a stunning blow at the god of war and drove him from the fighting. Zeus the father, who marshals ranked the storm clouds, gave commands. Leap it to them. Launch Athena against him. The queens of plunder. She's the one, his match, a marveling at bringing Ares down in pain. So he, are you caught up with him?
Yes, thank you.
Sure.
So he urged, and the white-armed goddess Hera obeyed at once.
Oh, do you want to start reading?
No. You keep on going, Nate.
And again she lashed her team, and again the stallions flew.
And again.
That's what Canadians say.
Again.
Okay, I like that.
Anyways.
Holding nothing back, carrying between the earth and starry sky so far as a man's glance pierced the horizon's mistaking haze. A scout on a watchtower who scans the wide dark sea, so far to do nothing. Thundering horses of the gods leap at a single stride, and only one they reached. The plains of Troy, where the two rivers flow, where Simeons and Scamander rush together. The white-armed goddess Hera reigned her team, loosing them from the chariot yoke, and round them proud a dense shrouding mist, and before their hooves the Simmons sprang, a bruisal grass from them to graze. The two immortals stepped briskly as wild doves, quivering keen to defend the fright of men, the fighting of men of Argos.
I would stop there and hand it to Isaac. Isaac, you're once they gain the spot.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Wait, where?
Once they gain the spot. Now, are you going to sleep?
Okay, let me quick tell what happened there. So, Hera, right?
Mhm.
She sees Ares doing all this crap, like going with Hector, killing all these Achaeans.
Right.
And she's like not liking it because Hera, she's on the side of the Achaeans, right?
Yeah.
So she legitimately goes up to the Father Zeus and she's like, "Oh, Father Zeus, Ares is like ravaging around and being so annoying." So Father Zeus, he like is like, "Okay, fine, you can tell Athena to help defeat Ares or something."
Yo, Nate, I heard the YouTube shorts, bro.
Text me.
Once they
If you
gained
go
the
to-
spot where the most and bravest stood, flanking strong Diomedes, breaker of wild stallions, masked like a pride of lions, tearing raw flesh, or ramping boars, whose fury never flags. The white-armed goddess, Hera, rose and shouted, loud as a brazen voice of great lunged Stentor, who cries out with a blast of 50 other men. "Shame! Disgrace! You Argives!
Hey, Leo.
You degraded!
I left my
Splendid
bike at the
in
gas
battle
station.
dress! Pure shame!"
Can we get it after? I
Yo,
don't want to getting taken out of a bike lock on it, and my water bottle's there.
what are you doing?
I left my bike at a gas station.
But we'll talk about it after.
Alright. Sure it's gonna be there after?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where was I? Splendid in battle dress, pure sham. As long as brilliant Achilles stalked the front, no Trojan would ever venture beyond the Dardan gates. They were so afraid of the man's tremendous spear. Now they're fighting far away from the city, right by your hollow ships. So Hera trumpeted, lashing the nerve and fighting fury in each man, as Athena, her eyes blazing, made for Diomedes, hard by his team, and Car she found the king, cooling the wound that Pandarus' arrow dealt him. Sweat from under the buckler's flat strap. He rubbed him raw. He was chafed, and his arm arched from lifting up the strap, wiping off the blood, and the dark clots laying hold of the yoke that bound his team. The goddess Pallas started. So Tydeus' son is half in size of his father, and he was short and slight. But Tydeus was a fighter. Even then, when I forbade him to go to war, or make a show of himself in others' eyes, what time, alone, apart from his men, he marched, the message into Thebes, filled with hordes of Thebans. I told him to banquet in their halls and eat in peace, but he always had the power, that courage from the first. But he always had that power, that courage from the first. And so he challenged the brave young blades of Thebes to tests of strength, and beat them all with ease. I urged him on with so much winning force. But you, Tydides, I stand by you as well. I guard you too. And with all good will I say, fight it out with the Trojans here. But look at you, fatigue from too much charging has sapped your limbs. That or some lifeless fear has paralyzed you now. So you're no offspring of Tydeus, and the gallant battle-hardened Oeneus' son. And powerful Diomedes bowed to her at once. Well, I know you, goddess. daughter of storming Zeus, and so I will tell you all, gladly. I hide nothing. It's not some lifeless fear that paralyzes me now. No flinching from combat either. It's your own command, still ringing in my ears, forbidding me to fight the immortals head on. All but one of the blessed gods. That is, if Aphrodite, daughter of Zeus, slips into battle, she's the one to stab with my sharp bronze spear. So now you see, I have given ground myself and told my comrades to mass around me here. Too well I know that Ares leads the charge. But the goddess roused him, her eyes blazing. True, son of Tydeus, Diomedes, joy of my heart, forget the orders. Nothing to fear, my friend. Neither Ares nor any other god. You too, I'll urge you on with so much winning force. Up now, lash your racing horses at Ares first. Strike him at close range. No shrinking away here before that headlong Ares. Just look at the maniac, born for disaster, double dealing, lying, two-faced god. Just now he promised me in Hera, the war god, swore he'd fight the Trojans, stand behind the Argives. But now, look, he's leading the Trojan rampage. He pledges thrown to the winds. Okay, with that challenge, Athena levered Slizanthius, something like that. I don't know. Out the back of the car, a twist of her wrist, and the man hit the ground, springing aside as the goddess climbed aboard, blazing to fight beside the shining Diomedes. The big oaken axle groaned beneath the weight, bearing a great man and a terrifying goddess. And Pallas Athena seized the reins and whip, lashing the racing horses straight at Ares. The god was just stripping giant Periphas bare, the Aetolians' best fighter. Ochesius' noble son. The blood-smeared Ares was tearing off his gear, but Athena donned the dark helmet of death. So now, not even stark Ares could see her now. But the butcher did see Tydeus, Rhea's son, and he dropped the gigantic Periphas on the spot where he'd just killed him, ripping his life away. And Ares whirled at the stallion-breaking Diomedes. The two of them, closing fast, charged face to face. And the god thrust first, over Tydides, yoke and reins, with bronze spear burning to take the fighter's life. But Athena, her eyes afire, grabbed the flying shaft, flicked it over the car, and off it flew for nothing. And after him, Diomedes yelled his war cry, lunging out with his own bronze spear, and Pallas rammed it home, deep into Ares' bowels, where the belt cinched him tight. There Diomedes aimed, and stabbed. He gouged him down, his glistening flesh, and wrenched the spear back out. And the brazen god of war let loose a shriek, roaring, thundering loud as 10,000 combat soldiers. Shriek with Ares' fury when massive armies clash. A shudder swept all ranks, Trojans and Argives both, terror-struck by the shriek the god let loose. Ares, whose lust for slaughter never ends. But now, wild as a black cyclone twisting out of a cloud bank, building up from the day's heat, blasts and towers, so brazen Ares looked to Tydeus' son Diomedes, soaring up with the clouds to broad sweeping sky. He quickly gained the god's stronghold, steep Olympus, and settling down by the side of Cronos' great son, Zeus, his spirits racked with pain, Ares displayed the blood, the fresh immortal blood that gushed from his wound, and burst out in a flight of self-pity. Father Zeus, aren't you incensed to see such a violent, brutal work? We everlasting gods. What chilling blows we suffer, thanks to our own conflicting wills. Whatever we show these mortals some kindness, and all we must, and we all, excuse me, and we all must battle you. You brought that senseless daughter into the world, that murderous curse, forever bent on crimes. While all the rest of us, every god on Olympus, bows down to you, each of us empowered or overpowered. But that girl, you never block her way with a word or action. Never spur her on, since you gave birth, from your own head, that child of devastation. Just look at this reckless Diomedes now. Athena spurred him on to rave against the gods. First he lunges at Aphrodite, stabs her wrist, then charges me, even me, like something superhuman. But I'm so fast on my feet, I saved my life. Else for a good long while, I'd have felt that pain, writhing among the corpses there, or soldiered on, weak as a breathless god, or ghost, beaten down by bronze. But Zeus, who marshaled storm clouds, lowered a dark glance, and let loose on Ares. No more, you lying two-faced. No more sliding up to me, whining here before me. I hate you most of all the Olympian gods. Always dear to your heart. Strife, yes, and battles, the bloody grind of war. You have your mother's uncontrollable rage.
Incorrigible.
Oh, thank you. Incorrigible. That
Oh,
Hera
that's the
say,
word.
say what I will. I can hardly keep her down. Hera's urgings, I trust, have made you suffer this. But I cannot bear to see you agonize so long. You are my child. To me, your mother bore me. If you had sprung from another god, believe me, and grown into such a blinding devastation, long ago you'd have dropped below the Titans, deep in the dark pit. So the great Zeus declared, and ordering the healing god to treat the god of war.
Hey, bro.
And covering over his wound with pain-killing drugs, the healer cured him. The god was never born to die. Quickly as a fig juice pressed into bubbly, creamy milk, curdles curdled it firm for the man who turns around. So quickly he healed the violent, rushing Ares, and Hebe washed him clean, dressed him in robes to warm his heart, and flanking the son of Kronos, down he sat, Ares, exalted in the glory above it all. And now the two returned to the halls of mighty Zeus, Hera of Argos, Boeotian Athena, guard of armies. Both had stopped the murderous Ares, cutting men to pieces. Okay,
That's book 5?
that's book 5. And that last bit is probably my favorite bit of the book, or the entire story, you know? Just Diomedes just absolutely aura farming on Ares. So much aura, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, what happens there? Pallas, or after like Hera asked Zeus if she could legit like stop Ares from killing everyone, Athena went to help Diomedes, right? And Diomedes charges Ares, right? And Ares throws his spear at Diomedes, but Athena like flicks it away, you know? And Diomedes freaking stabs Ares in the stomach. And he's like, he goes up to Olympus and complains to Zeus that like Athena is like bad or some crap. And Zeus like scolds him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just Diomedes has so much aura, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, I kind of find it a little bit interesting how, like let's say in like Christianity or most of the religions people believe in today, the gods are not like, or the gods are perfect, you know, like they're all powerful. They don't have any flaws.
But in here, they can be killed, and they're very flawed.
Yeah. Like, they kind of act like a bunch of, like, super powered humans, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we saw Ares here, you know, like...
Well, because in Christianity, we believe human was made in the image of God, but, like, the Greeks would have believed that God was made in the image of man.
I don't know about that. Because I don't think... Like, they believed the gods were probably before them, you know? But yeah, like, it's kind of interesting, like, with Ares coming up and Zeus, like, scolding him, and how much, like, discord there is, like, between the gods.
Discord.
I just kind of noticed that, you know? Thought it was pretty interesting.
Back up.
You guys have any thoughts on that?
Not really. I think it was a really good book, though. Probably the best one so far.
Yeah. Like, I think there's not as much in terms of, like, I guess, stuff you can take away from it, you know? Like,
yeah, it's just
it
straight
sounds
battle.
like interesting.
Yeah. And that's kind of why I like it, you know? It's just cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Diomedes just has so much aura.
He does.
But yeah, I think we should take a minute to kind of discuss some of the things we've noticed in the Iliad so far. I've kind of asked you guys this question before, but who do you think has the moral high ground in the situation, the Trojans or the Achaeans?
Were the Achaeans again?
The Greeks, the guys who were attacking the Trojans.
Didn't you say the Greeks?
I would say the Greeks.
I honestly agree with you.
I'd say the Greeks too.
Okay, let's hear your guys' reasoning.
I'll start off with Liam.
What?
Come on.
I mean, just I feel like. Well, I feel like neither side is completely right.
Yeah,
But
I'd agree with that.
yeah,
Like,
I feel like the Greeks are more or the least wrong.
Yeah. I think, like, I feel like the Greeks kind of are overreacting, you know? Like, I think Menelaus and Agamemnon are kind of taking it a step too far, you know? Like, obviously, Helen was stolen from them, but I also feel like, is this really something to start an entire war over?
Yeah.
And sacrifice a ton of your guys?
Agreed.
But I also feel like it is the Trojans' fault, because they're defending Paris, who was the one who took away Helen.
Yeah.
And, like, it's interesting in some of the later books, but it kind of goes into this a little bit more with, like, Hector talking with Paris and all that stuff, you know? Like, we've seen before in his fight with Menelaus that Paris is kind of a weaker guy, you know? Like, he's not as honorable as a lot of the other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he is the one carrying on the war, you know, and he's kind of just hiding behind Troy, you know, like, he doesn't have the power to fight Menelaus and end this war for good, so he escapes, hides behind Troy, kind of lets them do his fighting for him, for his reward, you know, and I feel like he is the main villain of the Iliad, so I feel like the Achaeans had the moral high ground.
Makes sense. Alright, well, I think that's where we should,
I'd say we should do one more question. Do you guys have any discussion questions?
Which, like, character in this do you think is, like, in the wrong the most?
I think we already discussed
Isn't
that.
that just like the
Paris.
opposite of what Isaac asked?
I'd say Paris. And also Menelaus, or Agamemnon and Menelaus, but mostly Paris, you know.
I mean, I like chapter 5 and all. I think it's probably my favorite so far that we read. I'll tell you one thing, though, is, like, Aphrodite isn't in it.
Oh.
Yes, she literally is though.
She is?
Yeah.
Dude, she was mentioned like 3
Oh.
times.
But like she herself.
Her wrist was stabbed. Remember? By Diomedes.
I don't know, I was kind of falling asleep during part of it.
Okay, well,
This was in part 1. Okay, so it was a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
Her wrist was stabbed.
I do remember that, yeah.
And she went up and complained, you know, just like all the other gods and goddesses who Diomedes slammed. Let me think. What have we read so far? Okay.
Nate.
It's the TV remote.
What?
Yo, Nate, get your feet away from me, bro.
Nate. Yeah.
So, I think another thing is with the gods being so unpredictable and so like,
Yeah.
you know, controlling, I guess, on
Right.
both sides. Like, how do we think this like applies to the Greek worldview? You know, I think like
I mean, the Greeks, their whole society was based off war.
yeah,
And I mean, you can see why. That's all the gods did, is fight with each other.
yeah,
Or like angry siblings.
Yeah, exactly.
And Zeus is their daddy.
Okay, bro.
And it's like, with the Roman gods, like Zeus is like the father, but like there's probably like 10 different mothers involved in the situation too.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
fault you for that one because
Like they all
Zeus.
probably have siblings, but
'cause-
we don't know.
Sorry, pardon my French, but Zeus is a massive man whore. I mean,
yeah. Like he literally turned into like a bull at one point, just to like, you know, have sex with a girl.
yeah, Zeus.
I think Zeus would smash.
I think he
Aphrodite.
disguised himself as someone's husband once, and that's how we had Hercules.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I gotta try that one day.
Okay, well, with that, thank you guys for watching.
Okay, wait. One more thing about the gods. I think it also like obviously they weren't just battling with each other. They were also
Nate,
a lot of times like fighting the elements and everything.
bro, get off.
Like of like the world, you know,
Yeah.
like famine and like
Nate,
natural disasters. So I think that definitely applies to like why some of the gods are so like
Yeah.
I guess not imperfect in this, you know.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
agree with that.
Thank you for watching
The Iliad book.
Iliad Book 5 Part 2.
Isaac's gonna be gone for a couple weeks, but we will read book 6 when he's back.
And then book 7.
Six, seven, six, seven, six,
See you guys.
seven, six, seven, six,